Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm going to be doing my summer 2020 book haul. These are all the books I've acquired since my last book haul, which I think I did at the start of June, I think, maybe July, I'm not sure when I did it. This book haul features every other book that I've got since then, including one book that I missed and that I didn't put in that book haul that should have been there. I have 29 books to talk about. A lot of them I've actually bought this month. I've been on a bit of a book buying spree, I'm not sure why, but I'm kind of buying books I've already read mainly, some that I haven't, but mainly ones that I've already read. I'm trying to be more picky about the books that I pick up that I haven't read because I want my TBR to be only books I actually want to read, so I'm really focusing on it. So most of these books I have already read and just wanted to buy a physical edition of. The first section is my little Alice Oseman section. I've bought 4 of her books since then. All of these books I'd already read previously, but I just wanted to get these editions of them. At the end of June, I ended up buying Solitaire and Radio Silence to match my editions of I Was Born for This and also Loveless that was coming out. I got this in my reading vlog and I talked about it then. I just love these editions so much. I still have my original editions and I will probably keep them forever, but I just love the colour palettes on these and the matching aesthetics. I just adore them. If you want to know my thoughts about any of Alice Oseman's published works, just go check out my reading vlog. I then bought a copy of Loveless when it came out on the 9th of July. I bought it alongside some other books which I will show you later. I needed to get a physical copy of this because it was my favourite book of the year so far, so I just needed a physical edition. This book is really about a girl, Georgia, who is coming to terms with the fact that she's asexual and really learning what that means, and I just thought it was such an important book and I really loved it. The final Alice Oseman book I only recently got, and that is Nick and Charlie. This is the novella about Nick and Charlie from Heartstopper. I read this via ebook in my reading vlog, but it came out in physical edition on the 6th of August, I think it was, so I went and bought a physical copy. This edition is also illustrated. It has like little comic-y pages inside. It has loads of little different drawings, so I might reread this at some point to see the illustrations. The next little section is an entire series that I've already read, and that is really like a YA throwback that I loved when I read it years ago. I only own the first book, but I saw this set online for quite cheap, so I decided to buy it, and that is the Vampire Academy series. I have all 6 of them in the really ugly cover. I'm just gonna hold up the first book for now because I can't hold all 6. This series is really like an iconic series in my reading career, really. I'm obsessed with it. I was obsessed with it. I probably wouldn't like it as much now. I do want to do a reread just to see, but I'm assuming I wouldn't like it now. I've always wanted editions of these because it's like a big part of my reading that is missing from my bookshelf, and I really need to get editions of Bloodlines because I love that one even more than this, so I'm very happy that I now have these. My next little section is adult romance books. I've always loved reading them, but I didn't own any except for The Hating Game, which is my favourite adult romance book. I discovered this online-only UK bookstore that sells adult romance books called Words and Kisses, and I've bought quite a few from there. Some of these are from different places, but mainly from there, just because I wanted to support them and I thought it was a really cool way to get adult romance books in the UK. I have a number of adult romance books to go through, so let's just go through them. The first is my most recent adult romance purchase, and that is The Love Square by Laura Jane Williams. This I didn't buy from Words and Kisses, I actually bought it from Amazon because for some reason it was £2 on Amazon. It only just came out, but I decided to just buy it. I read Our Stop last year, I think it was, and I really enjoyed it, so I wanted to give this a go. I'm not sure whether I like it, but it was £2 and I thought it'd be interesting. It's essentially about a girl who has 3 men interested in her in like a tiny village, I think. I'm not sure, but yeah, I want to give it a go. Next I have 2 of my favourite Christina Lauren books. These are probably my favourite of their books. I think they're both my favourite ones, and the first is The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren. This is my favourite of their books. It's one of my favourite adult romances of all time. It's a great enemies to lovers romance and I adore it. And then the other one I have is Josh and Hazel's Guide to Not Dating by Christina Lauren again. I really like this one. This is more friends to lovers, but I just really enjoyed it and I want to reread it at some point. The same with Unhoneymooners, but I did reread that earlier this year, so. I then have 3 adult romance series. I have the first 2 in all of them because only 2 of them are out, I think, for all of them. The first series I have is The Right Swipe, or I think the series is called Modern Love, so it's The Right Swipe and then Girl Gone Viral. I really loved The Right Swipe. I read it last year sometime and I really enjoyed it. I read Girl Gone Viral earlier this year. Didn't really love it as much, but I still enjoyed it and I just wanted physical editions. I also love these covers. I love the colours. I just thought it looked pretty on my bookshelf, so. The next adult romance series that I have is The Kiss Quotient. This is The Kiss Quotient and The Bride Test. I somewhat enjoyed book 1, but I really enjoyed book 2. That always happens. I always enjoy one more than the other. These are a lot different to a lot of adult romance books because it kind of focuses on autism and it's just so unique, and I loved them and I think they're great. The final little adult romance series I have is the Brown Sisters series. There's a third one coming out, but it's Get a Life Chloe Brown and then Take a Hint Dani Brown. I really enjoy these. I especially loved Get a Life Chloe Brown. I thought it was amazing. It's one of my favourite books of last year. Take a Hint Dani Brown, again, I didn't really like as much, but I still enjoyed it. These just focus on a group of sisters and their romances. Get a Life Chloe Brown focuses on chronic illness and stuff like that, and then Take a Hint Dani Brown focuses on male anxiety, which I thought was really unique. After discovering Words and Kisses, I also discovered that they have a subscription service, which I really love. You get either 1 or 2 books a month. You get to pick either historical or contemporary romances. So I signed up. I picked 2 books a month because it was £20 for 2, which I think is quite good for adult romance books because they're usually quite expensive. August was the first month that I subscribed, so I only have 2 to talk about. The first one is Boyfriend Material by Alexis Hall. This is actually my current read. I'm reading it at the moment and I'm enjoying it somewhat. It's essentially an enemies to lovers fake dating romance that's set in the UK, as you can clearly tell. I'm enjoying it, but I haven't got to like the romance part of it yet. I'm just in the main character's head and he's slightly irritating, so. The other book I got was their main pick for the month, and that is Recipe for Persuasion by Sonali Dev. This is described as a Bollywood-like persuasion retelling. I don't know anything about persuasion. I don't read Jane Austen, I never have. The only one I have any idea about is Pride and Prejudice. But the fact that it's Bollywood theme makes me very happy. It's also set in the culinary world. It's about 2 chefs, which I love so much. So I'm very excited for this one. It might be my next read, I'm not sure. The final little section I have is my random section. I'm going to start off with the book that was meant to be my last book haul because I got it in like February, I think, and I didn't include it. And that book is Bookish and the Beast by Ashley Poston. This is the 3rd book in the Geekerella series. This one is a Beauty and the Beast retelling set at Comic-Con. I somewhat enjoyed this one, but it's definitely my least favourite of the 3. They've actually kind of gone downhill for me with each book. The first one was my favourite, the second one was okay, this one was meh. But Beauty and the Beast retellings and me don't always get along, like they have to be done really well. If you like Beauty and the Beast retellings though, this is a great one because it is very much a Beauty and the Beast retelling. This was sent to me as a proof copy from Tor, so thank you very much for sending this to me. The next book I have was actually sent to me as a gift, and that is The 7 Necessary Sins of Women and Girls by Mona Eltahawy, I think it's how it's pronounced. This was sent to me by family friends who decided to gift me a book, which was very nice of them. I read Mona's story in It's Not About the Burqa, which I think was the introduction, if I remember correctly, I'm not sure. But I quite liked it, and this does look like a really interesting book, and I love the cover. It's really short, and I'm just trying to get into more non-fiction because I don't read enough of it, and I think this will be a good one to kind of get me more into it. The next book I have is Love from A to Z by S.K.R. Lee. I really thought I was going to hate this book. I read it in July, I think it was. I read it on my Kindle in July and I was convinced I was going to hate it because I didn't like her previous book. I don't like a lot of Muslim books. I don't know why, it's just always a thing, but I ended up absolutely loving this. I talked about it more in my July wrap-up, but I thought it was amazing, so I bought a physical copy. I'd also never seen this cover before I went to buy it because everyone talks about the hardcover copy, but I just really like this cover because I think it's really cute, so. Next I have Sandy Menon's 2 2020 releases, starting with Of Curses and Kisses. I read this in January as a review copy. I read it on my Kindle while I was in Italy. I decided to buy a physical copy because I like to have physical copies of all the books I read for some reason. Again, this is a Beauty and the Beast retelling set at a boarding school. I was okay with it, I quite enjoyed it, but the Beauty and the Beast part kind of irritated me in a way. With Beauty and the Beast retellings, there are certain aspects of it I just never like, no matter how it's done, but yeah. I recommend it again if you like Beauty and the Beast retellings. I have her latest release, which is 10 Things I Hate About Pinky. I read this again as an e-arc in May? April? I don't know when I read it. I read it as an e-arc and I thought it was okay, but I wasn't as big a fan of it, but I wanted the matching set because I have all the other books and I just really like having the matching spines. And I do really want to support Sandy Menon because I do like her books generally. The next book I have is Boy Queen by Georgia Lester. Again, I read this as an e-arc in May, I believe, or April. I think it was April actually because I think I did it for the Owls. This came out on the 6th of August and I just wanted to buy a physical copy to support him. I really enjoyed this book. It's kind of like the musical everybody's talking about, Jamie, in book format, so it's great for me. I really enjoyed that. If you like drag and if you like coming of age stories set in the UK about a gay teen, you would like this. Next book I bought was You Should See Me in a Crown by Leah Johnson. Everyone and their mother's been talking about this book this year, and it really deserves to be talked about a lot. I have again already read this. I really loved it. I thought it was fantastic. I love the whole prom aspect, I loved the whole contemporary aspect, and I really love it. I also really love the cover and the spine and the colour of it. It's just so beautiful. And the final two books I have to talk about are actually in a completely different realm, and that is the Knights and Bikes series. These are the first two. These are by Gabrielle Kent. I'm working with Knights Of to do something related to this, so I just bought myself some copies so I can just have a read of them and flick through them. So that was my summer 2020 book haul. I hope you enjoyed this video. I've got a lot of books in this book haul, like so many. I need to stop with the book buying, but I'm also quite enjoying it, so I don't know. I've been buying a lot of stuff in lockdown. I need to like calm down a bit. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one.